Good morning, ladies and gents. We're at beautiful Lakeville today. Just a maintenance day and a couple little things today. Noticed my radiator end tank is starting to seep a little bit. 220,000 miles. It's done its job. Same part number as that truck, so we're swapping that. I got no idea what this Ford is. Oh, sorry, Chevy. This showed up out of nowhere. But one of the things we have to do today
Hello there.
is a little bit of tuning on this bad Larry. That new intro, I figured it was time. Just getting a good look all around of this. So I know nothing of this. I just know this is the guy who owns the Chevelle that I tuned. Oh, so it ain't nothing special. So he says it is stalling out on him when he puts the AC on. Is this yeah, this is Gen 3. So I'm gonna hook the scanner up to it and do some figuring out, see what I can find. Don't know what this relay goes to. We'll figure that out. It's got the big fan set up. All right, cool. Let's see what it sounds like, if it sounds like anything. Like I said, I know nothing about this. Keys, no. Oh, they're hanging up. I'll be right back. Also, don't know nothing about this. What do we got? 67. Got quarter triangle windows and no side markers. LS swapped. Interesting. I'll find some info out and see what we got going on here. Well, hopefully I grabbed the right set of keys. Let's see. I definitely didn't. How many freaking sets? Oh, these go to the other truck that's outside. All right, let me go get the other right set. All right, that looks more like a set of whatever it is, 90 01 to 07 or 2001 07. There we go. Let's see. Ooh, she's got a little rumble to her. Nice. Alright, so this has probably got a stock tune in it, much like the Chevelle did. So I'll just have to go through it and look after it gets warmed up. But for right now, I'm going to pull it outside and let it warm up. El Camino's still here. I've got to look at the cooling gauge. They said, or the coolant temp gauge, they said wasn't working right. And something with the fans were coming on or not coming on. So I don't know. So it's... Everything was 100% when I left, so I've got to look and see what's going on with it. It should be something very simple. Also this, 75 C10. So this is also going to Barrett-Jackson, Scottsdale in October. This is just going to be, it's been being built behind the scenes, a very low buck flipping truck, basically. It's going to be, you know, nicely built, but this isn't going to be like McDreamy or like Sunshine. This is just build it, put basically stock stuff back in it. Nothing crazy, nothing fancy. It's got a, I believe it's a 383 small block, if I remember right from what he told me. But yeah, nothing crazy. Still got mechanical fan and everything on it. Still got factory HVAC in it. It is going to be this brandy wine-ish color, whatever this is, with white stripe. It'll look really trick. Other than that, not much has been going on with it. It's going to have factory trim and everything on it, as you can see. It's got the or the other side had it, the clip to hold the factory trim and everything. But yeah, this one will also be getting built. I don't know how much of the work I will be doing on this one. Yeah, so it's still running all factory gauges, factory everything, factory wire and harness, all that good stuff. I think Bruce is going to be doing the majority of this behind the scenes while I start to get concentrating on Sunshine. Ooh, let me go show you some color on Sunshine. So he has, okay, so it's been sealed, and he's done the firewall and the inside panels with the black, or the inside of the panels with the black. This week he's going to start spraying, and it's coming out pretty decent. So not color, but some color. And I think from the boss man told me, should be completely sprayed by next weekend, if I remember right. But yeah, cool. So I know I've been saying for the last 3 or so weeks, hey, Noah's gonna spray it this weekend. Well, this was the weekend. All right, so before I get to the fun stuff, which would be the orange truck, and the fun stuff, which would be swapping my radiator for my old truck, we're gonna see what the heck is going on with this thing. So let's do a key on. All right, so the gauge does its self-check. So I'm gonna pull this one outside, let it warm up, and see what happens. All right, so before I let it warm up and I do anything, the first thing I'm gonna do is check my settings, system outputs. So my fan temps are still where they're supposed to be. So that's good. Or where I set them is what I meant to say. All right, so now I'm going to let this warm up, and I'm gonna see what the fans do. Well, so far so good. We're not up to temp yet, but I did put the AC on, and it is commanding the fan on like it's supposed to with the AC. I don't see any issues with the setup on the dash or the setup on the BIM module. So we're just gonna let this get up to temp and see if the low speed and then the high speed comes on and they kick back and forth like they're supposed to. And if they do, then I'm gonna shut the car off, disconnect the handheld, and reconnect up the serial cable to the BIM module. Because one thing Holly says is they don't like 2 CAN systems being run off the thing at the same time. So if you have the BIM module on there, if you're going to plug the handheld in and use the handheld to unplug the BIM module and vice versa. So that might be where the problem lies, because they did have both things hooked up. So I'm gonna let this get up to temp and see what happens. All right, so we're at 195. Let's see. Oh, fan number 1 kicked on, which should be my low speed. So both of them should be running in series in 12 volt right now, which they are. Perfect. So fan number 1, or relay number 1 for fan control, is working. So we're gonna let this get up to 205, and fan control number 2 should kick on, which turns on high speed, which will bring those back down to 195. I might actually have to sit on the gas pedal because these low speeds are doing such a good job at cooling them. It's having an issue just getting over 200. All right, here we go, 205, and there's high speed. As I don't know if you guys can hear it, but I definitely heard them. So high speed's on. So high speed should bring this temp down, back down to 195. So yep, there we go already. It's already dropping, 204. Let's see, we get to 203, and I'll save you guys the terror, and I'll bring you back. 203. All right, so I'll bring it back when it's getting down to 195, which would shut off high speed. Damn it, I was 2 seconds too slow, but it hit 195, turned off my high-speed fans, so all that's working. So now I'm going to turn the vehicle off. I'm gonna disconnect the handheld and make sure it works without the handheld, because they were saying without the handheld plugged in, the fans were not coming on, which makes no sense because the program's in the throttle body on the Sniper and the ECM itself. So we're gonna check that next. Okie doke. figured out the coolant gauge problem. So like they said, it was reading off of the bus through the BIM module off of the Holly with the handheld plugged in, but not with it unplugged. And as it turns out, in the BIM, they did not have it configured. They had the gauge configured to run the bus up to there for the coolant temp, but when you use this and you're using the handheld, if you're not going to have the handheld plugged in, because it will take its bus signal from the handheld for some weird reason, unless there's an option in there that says handheld, yes or no, are you or are you not using it? So you have to turn that off. So when you unplug your handheld, you're taking it directly from the ECM itself. But I also noticed my IAC counts were a little low. So the handheld does still work with that turned off. You just can't do any uploads, and you can't do any firmware updates or any of that. You have to enable it back in this. It's very, very weird the way the whole system goes. Unless you directly plug it into the sniper itself and you don't use the jumper harness. That's the whole thing that throws it all off, is the jumper harness. It's splitting the can lines this way. So I raised my idle up manually. So we're gonna see, this should settle down to 0 IAC counts, and then I'm slowly gonna back my idle down until I get about 8 position, or 8% I mean, on the IAC. See, it's 0 now, so I'm gonna do that off camera because it's a boring process. And then maybe we'll take this thing for a ride. All right, we're reading the tune out of this truck. Holy glare. Why is this glaring so much? I don't know. But it's a good old P01 ECM. So we're going to pull this tune, see what it is. Then I'm going to pull a stock tune off the HB Tuners repository to verify that it is in fact just a stock 01 Silverado 4.8 tune. And then we're going to tweak it from there. Alright, so I'm waiting for a call back to verify that this is still 4.8 liters and they didn't swap in a 5.3 or a 6 liter. I've got no info on this truck, literally. And if they can tell me what cam is in it, so I can kind of get an idea how much air it's going to want. But as you can see, there is quite a few things that have been changed. Somebody has definitely gone through this and tweaked a ton of stuff. So I'm gonna have to go through and double check things and look at it all. Like right off the bat, first thing I always go to is just check the idle RPM. So the base set point, this is we're set to idle at 800, 775, where stock is, you know, in the 500s. So somebody's definitely gone through here. The idle minimum airflow has been upped and all that stuff. But also a ton of stuff has been changed that really doesn't have to be changed. So it might be fighting stuff back and forth. So once I find out for sure what this is for displacement, so I can make sure that's all right, I might just reflash stock calibrations back into this thing and start from scratch, because going on somebody else's work, you don't always know what is going on, what they've changed and why. Alright, so I'm going to take a few minutes, go through this whole thing and see where we're at, and hopefully get a phone call back to see what we're working with for sure, engine size wise and hopefully camshaft wise. Okay, so this thing's definitely been tuned. So the MAF curve, I'll open that up, has been tuned. Where are we? General. Here we go. So this is your stock MAF curve. You'll notice totally smooth arc on that, Bad Larry. This is the curve that's in there. You'll notice it's got a little bit of chop. That's not bad at all. That's just some minor tweaking and tuning. And then the other thing I noticed is they had the cranking VE raised for some reason instead of dropped a little bit with a cam, which is what you want to do. Primary VE. So this is the VE table that's in there. This is the stock VE table. So they've done a good amount of tuning. Hopefully it was dyno tuning, or at least wideband on a street tuning. I don't actually have a P01, I think. Oh, you know what? I might. Let me look, see what I got here. Oh, I got a P59. This should work. I forgot I did a burnout truck a long while ago and had to download all these setups. All right, not too shabby. So this might be good. I'll have to take it for a drive and see where we are. They oh, spark, that reminds me. All right, let me close this. Spark tables are also modified quite a bit. The over-under speed are modified. I didn't look at the under. Let's see, compared to stock. All right, so the under, they softened, but the overspeed they raised to give it a little bit more chop. High octane table. Thankfully, they do have a different difference between the high and the low octane tables in case you get some pinging, so you can go back down. That right there is what I wanted to hear. I don't know if you guys heard that, but it just idled up because the AC came on. That was their biggest problem. When the AC came on, the idle would drop off. I found two main things that I wanted to change. I put a stock base running airflow back in it, and then did my additions to it because their base running airflow was really weird looking. I didn't like how it looked. They had adaptive idle turned off, which is not really a reason to turn it off. And then what was the other thing I did? Oh, the cranking fuel. I turned that way down because they had turned it up, which you don't need when you do a cam. But so stock spark table. Okay, you know, pretty decent. We're at 22 degrees max open throttle. Their table, they took some timing out, which leads me to believe this was dyno tuned, so they found where the engine was happy. This hump right here is kind of weird, but I mean, it is what it is. Everything is leading me to believe this was dyno tuned, so if that's where everything feels safe, that's, you know, where I'm going to leave that. But I'm going to smooth out this little bit of up and down with the AC right now. After I put it in gear, I want to check how it is in gear too, and then maybe take it for a ride and see how it feels drivability wise. So the C10 on the No Limit chassis has showed up. He's dropping it off at the shop today. As you can see, it's most of the way together. It's going to be a very sharp truck. Okay guys, I took the El Camino for a drive. That's all set, ready to go. Be right back. I forgot I left the parking lights on it. Alright, I'm back. Alright, so I've got most of the settings that I wanted to adjusted. So we're gonna go for a ride real quick down the street and see how this thing feels. See if there's any stalling when it's coming to a stop or anything because the AC's on. So this thing idles about 11 inches of vacuum, and by the feel of it, it's not a very big cam. It's something along the lines of your Chupacabra or Truck Norris, something around there. So we're also going to go until the battery on the GoPro dies, because I did not grab my charging cord this morning to plug it in while we're doing all this. I also have no idea how this transmission is tuned either. So far it feels okay. It's definitely not downshifting right down into 4th gear lockup. He did get back to us. He thinks it might be a 5.3. Doesn't have any info on it really. He just buys them. Definitely got a stall converter in it. Probably about a 20, somewhere between 25 to 2800 stall converter. Good. They left lockup in 4th at least. I actually did not look that much at the trans tune to see what they did, but everything looks good. Temp is good. Oil pressure is actually great. We're cruising right now at 1400 RPM. There's 62 pounds of oil pressure. So it's a nice tight motor. But actually, for C10 truck. It doesn't rattle too much. Drivability wise, it feels really good. So whoever tuned this did a decent job. Just idle wise, they didn't have any of the load settings right. So when the AC came on, they probably most likely tuned it just to drive it. Didn't, you know, actually check it with the load on it, like AC and all that other stuff. Lights. Sometimes you turn your lights and your oh, don't have rear defrost. Well, lights, rear defrost. You put a big giant load on the engine, no matter how, either electrically or mechanically. It's going to alter it, obviously, and you got to change those tables to smooth that out. They did not do that. But so far, this feels pretty good. I think I have to just tweak a couple more idle tables for the AC on. AC off, the thing's beautiful, and idle's perfect. That's why I'm saying, all right, let's see. Well, it's pretty good. Came right down to a stop, no stalling. Now I gotta wait for this unneeded traffic. It's Saturday. Where are you people going? Church? What are we at here? We're at 800, which is what I commanded. It feels lower than that for some reason. It does have a very slight surge when the AC kicks on and off, which I want to try to get rid of. Come on, people. The AC is also kicking on and off more than it should. I think the charge might be low, which that could be a whole other issue in itself if it's kicking on and off when it's not supposed to. Alright, let's see how a throttle kick feels here. Definitely, I think it might actually be higher, like maybe a 3-stall converter. Or it's a very loose flashing converter. So the AC is on right now. Blowing nice and cold. See how we come up to a stop here. That 1-2 shift is a little more aggressive than I'd like. AC's still on, we're good, we're not falling down at all. Yeah, that's not bad. It's just that little bit of drop in RPMs that I don't want when the AC does engage. So that was only about 4,800 RPM. 59 miles an hour. Hit a max temp of 198. We're cruising at 192. So yeah, everything's doing its job that's supposed to be in here. Well, it's supposed to be doing its job in here. Where it shifted, which is where they had the shift points more or less set up to. But I'm impressed. This is a cool little truck. I would whip this thing. I love these regular cab short bed 2-wheel drives. I love them. I think they're great. So we're gonna head back to the shop and we're gonna do a little more tweaking on that idle table. We'll see what it's doing right here. That's actually not bad. I might have to do just a tiny bit of tweaking. But it's holding that 800 RPM. Handles pretty good for a truck. Roll the window down so you can hear a little exhaust. downshifts tuned down a little bit. It's just kicking down to the next gear. It's not kicking all the way down. Plus that loose converter actually makes it feel a lot looser than it really is. Because that just kicked down right into 4,000 RPM into the lower gear, which normally would feel amazing. But that converter is so loose, it's basically giving you the sensation of a slipping clutch until it turbines itself up. Oh, actually, shit. I think that was Noah. I forgot he has a new truck. Let's see. That's pretty good for parking lot maneuvers, drive to reverse and whatnot. With the AC on, no stalling or anything. Actually, we'll pull all the way up here. I'm kind of reluctant to change anything else. It feels pretty damn good. I mean, when in doubt, if it feels good, just leave it. And that feels great. So let's see. We'll shut her off. What's buzzing? Oh, this back panel is. Let's see what kind of dip we get when we turn the AC on here. Oh, that was minimal. That was nothing. That was a blip. That's it. No stumble, no nothing. I think we're going to leave that with that. Let me take a look at these logs real quick, see what it looks like, and then, oh, got a couple of surprises to show you inside. Alright, the rest of this video is probably just going to be show and tell. If you've been around for a while, you recognize this car. This is the 1978 Roadster Shop Trans Am build that we did. I think this was the second build on the channel. First was the orange F100. The record breaker. So this is a Roadster Shop spec chassis, 6-liter LS, 6-speed. Cannot remember if it's a TR 6060 or not, but 6-speed standard. Big old tires and wheels. This was a 100% complete frame off. This car was a completely assembled, really good looking, really good running with the original 400 and I believe a Muncie 4-speed. And the owner was like, I want something cool. So we were like, well, what do you got for a budget? And he was like, yes. So we went to town on it. Got a whole complete new interior. This one has Dakota Digitals and vintage air as well, like most of the builds, but all new door panels, rugs. Like it literally, I think the only thing that's stock is the dash itself, as you can tell, because we didn't repaint all that stuff, but everything else is brand spanking new. This got some really trick LED tail lights too, but let me open the hood and give you a look at the engine. So here we go. 6-liter LS, single plane Holley intake, sniper injection, Holley LS series spark control. Everything is integrated together. We went sniper on it because he wanted to keep the scoop functional, which it is. But I mean, this was a super fun build. If you look somewhere back in my videos, there's an entire playlist on this build. And oh, some of the vinyl's peeling up, so we'll have to take care of that. Holley cast manifolds, front runner, really trick electric fan setup that we did. It was a fun build. It was awesome. I really enjoyed this. I enjoyed driving it too. Actually, this is the one I'm shifting gears in the new intro. And we did nothing with the body besides swap it onto a new frame. So it's been repainted, but this is the original body. We didn't do any body work, any paint or anything on this one. Cold case radiator on it too to keep it cool. LED lights all throughout the front too. So you've heard me talking about the No Limit chassis C10. Boss dropped it off today. It's a 1970 C10. So we picked this up Florida, I think, when he went down to Barrett-Jackson down there. And the guy who had bought this, like a lot of projects, he bought it, had all the intention in the world to finish it. Got it to the point where it is now rolling chassis with a body on top of it, and lost interest, gave up, whichever, whatever. So the body was already painted. I believe the glass was in it. But everything had since been taken apart because they were going to finish up some other stuff and then put the body back in the frame. So when Boss went down there for Barrett-Jackson, he went down there, he drove down with a big old enclosed trailer and came back with this bad Larry. So, like I said, it's a No Limit chassis, as you can see. It's a beautiful chassis from what I've seen so far. And the guys from No Limit, they talked to the boss man, and he said, yeah, we've done quite a few Roadster Shop chassis. We have probably almost a half dozen now. And they straight out told us, well, if you like the Roadster Shop chassis, you're going to love this. Much better chassis than the Roadster Shop. So we said, okay, we will see. LS powered, I forget what size. I think it's a 6-liter. It's no, it's a, oh crap, I can't remember if it's a LS2 or LS3. It's a whole plug and play crate package that they do, the GM package there. 4L60 Holley Terminator. So I'll be wiring all that up. Really nice front runner system, clean, super nice. This is the expensive radiator. I forget the name of them. We did the same one in McDreamy. This is a very high dollar. Brakes. It has an electric pump assist weirdo brake system that I don't think is made anymore, but we're going to make it work. It's kind of like, it's like an electric hydro boost system instead of having the hydraulic hydro boost system. But long tube headers, I don't know whose make, but got really nice flanges on them, which I'm digging. Like I said, this body was already all painted. It's super clean. I don't really see much in the way of defects on it, and it's going to be fun to get one together that we don't have to build the entire thing. Steel cowl hood, so that's nice, and I mean that's even straight as can be and flat. So whoever did the body work on the paint did a good job. It's super nice. No interior. We got, are these Ring Brothers? I don't know whose mirrors these are, but they're billet machined and they look expensive. Same with the handles, billet machined. Like I said, no interior or anything. I think he said he's got an entire TMI interior. These are TMI door panels. That's definitely a TMI dash pad. Vintage air is already in it, so he's been working on this little by little at his house, getting it to the point, because he knows I'm overloaded right now with stuff between regular work and here, and that sunshine's going to be 100 miles an hour as soon as paint gets on it. So he's been doing all this. He ran the American Auto wire harness. He put in and ran everything for the vintage air. I've got the Terminator XECU, so we're figuring we're probably going to mount it up under here, bring our wires through here, because we can hide everything up behind the vintage air, and then we can have our buddy John over at FX Innovations make a panel that blocks this whole thing so that the carpet still goes over like it's just not even there. Because if you remember on Chili Pepper, it was also Terminator X Max controlled, and we mounted the box over here, and it worked out well, hidden under the seat, out of the way, blah, blah, blah. The only thing that sucked is bringing it through the firewall, bringing the wires through the two main harness bundles, because they are sizable bundles. So this is your main engine bundle, so you got quite a bit through there, and then this is your transmission side. So you've got two of these to get through there. They created a hump that, even though we put jute on each side to deflect it so it smoothed it all out, we weren't happy with it, but it was what it was. It looked good. So we're going to mount that there. And then the cream of the crop, so we'll turn you around this way so we don't ruin the surprise. So the previous guy who owned it, who built it, I didn't find out any information on this, I'm sorry. Smooth tailgate, no lettering, no nothing. LED lights, I think it's this side. Yes. Gas fill. The guy who had this, who started this project, I think he was a little patriotic, because the entire Declaration of Independence is on the bedwood. And that is either going to be a love it or hate it situation, depending on where you sit. But yeah, what is this? Not flush mount glass, but, you know, nicely mounted. But yeah, this looks like it's all new chrome trim and everything in here too. I think this is a stock column. Yeah, that's a stock column. That's not a I did it column. But so we will be getting going on, oh Christ, 3 of them. The 75 K10, the 70 C10, the 70 F100. All those 3 vehicles will be going to Barrett-Jackson. There's gonna be a lot of work going on. Unlike this video where there was not a lot of work going on. I'm still gonna do what I need to do on my vehicle. It's just, it's not worth filming. But yeah, project on top of project on top of project on top of upkeep on top of project, all those projects out there. So stay tuned, because it's getting fun. It's gonna be a whole bunch of stuff coming up really fast. I'm gonna be burnt out, as I usually am when we get to this point, and we've got, let's see, what are we in, July? October is when these 3 trucks have to be done, so it's gonna be a squeeze. Well, we'll get it done. We always do. And I always am dead for a month after, like usual. As always, like and subscribe, all that good stuff, because you're gonna be seeing this pretty little bitch get done, that truck get done, which is that chassis right there, and that truck get done. And yeah, they'll be rolling down the auction block in October, and I'm going down for that one, so I'll take you along that ride too. Well, that sucks. I got halfway through taking that radiator out. Thankfully didn't start draining fluids yet before I realized the new truck has transmission cooler on that side, engine oil cooler on this side, no engine oil cooler on this one. Sometimes the work is free and just your time. Sometimes you gotta buy a $500 something radiator.